Steph Jackson, and I'm your agent of truth. Okay, y'all, tonight we are talking about pride. Now, I know from starting this, I'm only going to be on here for about 20 minutes, okay? So consider this Kingdom Sports Pride Part 1, okay? So this have to for sure be a two-part series because you can't just be talking about pride just one time and leave it alone. Why? Because pride is a very thing that got Satan kicked out of heaven. Okay. Also, pride is so dangerous, and America has just caught on and latched onto this thing called pride under the guise of loving who you want to love. Okay. Pride does not care who you sleep with, as long as you are elevating it to the level of a God, which we have, because but this is the end of May, and so next month was proclaimed by our last president as Pride Month. It's just why. Okay. So unfortunately, our country that was founded on very Christian principles, that was founded on the fear of God, our country whose money says in God we trust, has now, her leader has declared it a one nation under pride. Okay, it's very dangerous. We're going to talk about tonight, at least we're going to start talking about tonight, why pride is so dangerous, what this thing called pride is, how diabolical it is, and why you need to get it as far away from you and keep it as far away from you as you possibly can. Okay. All right. So let's talk about pride. Pride is not our friend. As I said before, it is, I believe, the most dangerous spirit. I think, was it fear? I said, I don't know, you have to go back and look, but let's just say pride is the most dangerous demon. Okay. Pride, Satan partnered with pride and tried to take the throne of God, and he got his butt kicked out of heaven. That's when he was originally named Lucifer. Lucifer got kicked out of heaven because he got it in his mind. He got real proud and was like, all right, bet, I'm going to be like God. I'm going to take a third of heaven, and then I'm going to take the kingdom of heaven. So the coup. And that apparently the fight didn't last long. Okay. Jesus said, I saw Satan like lightning or like fall from heaven, meaning that fight between him and Michael was about like that. Okay. So we love to quote the Bible that says, no, people love to say pride comes before the fall. It's always what they say. The Bible actually says pride comes before destruction and a haughty spirit before the fall. Okay. However you want to slice it, pride is not pretty. Pride is not your friend. Stop saying your pride, their pride, this pride, their pride. Stop trying to protect pride. Pride only wants to destroy you. Pride wants to separate you from God and destroy your life. Okay. That's all pride is here to do. It's here to steal, kill, and destroy. It's exactly what the enemy does. Okay. So also pride in a very real way just makes a fool out of you. Okay. How do I know? Because as a human and as an athlete, I was full of pride. All right. I remember specifically when my senior year of basketball in high school, right? So we had super high expectations. For me, it was state or bust. It wasn't no in between. It wasn't no good job if you made the playoffs. No, bust. Okay. I was a senior. It was my team. It was only two seniors on the team, me and my other teammate, Tiara. We didn't call her Tiara. We called her Lil T. Anyway, so it was me and her we was only seniors, by far the best players on the team. She was just an exceptional basketball player and athlete. I was just an exceptional athlete that had a motor that never cut off. Like, I need no subs. Okay, I ain't need no sub. All right, I'm here to wreck shop. So that was that, right? And I had the respect of my team. I had the respect of my coach, and I was just gung ho on making it to the championship, doing whatever I had to do. And you know how it is. The the team only really goes so far as the leader takes it, right? The way the leader feels, that's kind of how the team is run, right? So, yo, I was like on some Michael Jordan, Kobe type stuff, right? This was before it got super cool to be best friends with the people you played against. All right, I hated everybody equally. Okay, I mean, I'm in practice, fighting teammates and having all kind of conflicts in my team. I remember this one practice my junior year where this couple of the seniors, we were just going through plays and kind of scrimmaging a little bit. And man, wanted to see something and I didn't like it. So I said, all right, bet, all y'all line up now. All y'all line up. So the two team captains, our two best players at the time, they was like, we already know where it's going. We don't want no parts of this. All right, bet, y'all sit on the sideline. I was gonna cook y'all anyway. So the teammate was talking crap. I lined up. Every time I scored, I talked crap on them. Like, it was very wild, okay? The pride that I had partnered with in my little 16-year-old soul was just disgusting, okay? So by the time my senior year rolled around, I mean, they knew I was intense, but man, I was like putting teammates out of practice for not going hard enough. Like, it was crazy, y'all. It was just, and my coach, who was like freaking, we had a Field and Kobe thing going on where she knew exactly which button to press. Okay, before practice, before games, she was in there, just pressing buttons. And then she'll just let me loose on everybody, right? Like, you know what you're doing. Okay, so I remember this one particular time, this eighth grader who was really good, like she was really good, y'all. She's eighth grade, got called up because we could definitely use the firepower. We were trying to get the state. And coach, she was like coach's golden child. And I took exception to that because I was like, hey, we not doing treatment. Yo, you not an underclassman, you're an eighth grader. I'm a senior in high school. And so I'm like, I ain't respecting you. You're a child. I'm not respecting you. You a child. I don't care how good you are, right? So me and the coach, we were bumping heads. She was proud. I was proud. I wasn't having it, right? Like, we ain't doing this. It got so bad. I remember this one particular time, the coach decided to address the team and saying, I brought this kid up and it wasn't like it. You come see me about it. And I'm over, and everybody on the team know who she talking to. And I'm standing here, never my chest out, like, hey, bro, at me next time. You and me, are you talking to me? Everybody knows it. And I wasn't backing down at all. It wasn't even like it. We bumped over everything because I wasn't letting go of the pride that was in me, and she wasn't letting go of the pride that was in her. So, I mean, it got to I think people was just showing up the games, not to see us win or nothing, but to see what me and the coach was going to do, okay? One particular time, she took me out the game, right? She took me out the game, and because I knew her and she wanted to teach me, I knew she was going to try to sub me back in that game with like 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, right? So one of my classmates, this big, like 6'4", 300-something pound dude that played on the football team, he would sit behind the bench, right? That was like the student section. So kids sat behind the bench, right, in the home games. And so I remember me and him was talking. He was like, hey, they used to call me G or whatever back in the day. So he's like, hey, G, what's up? Like, you ain't in the game? Going on? I turned around and I told, and I was just turning around, like kind of talking to him. And I said, hey, watch this. So he was like, what? Completely don't know. So I see her walking towards me to put me back in the game with about 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. I take my chair on the bench and I turn it around to the crowd. I was like, so she was like, hey, G, get back in the game. Get back in the game. I was like, y'all, you could have heard a pin drop. The whole crowd, it was like, this was a home game in Greenville, Mississippi, and I didn't stay too far from the school, right down the highway there. And like, it was wild. I mean, unheard of, guys. That was the pride of my heart. Okay. As a matter of fact, not too long after that game, I think around the end of first semester, I ended up quitting. I was like, hey, if you think that you and this team can make it without me, take this uniform, do what you need to do. I'm good. Bye. So I quit. I was like, bet, I quit. And I mean, I was ignoring teammates' phone calls. I wasn't calling the coach. I didn't care if they lost, whatever. Whatever y'all gonna do is gonna be done without me. Okay? Just to let y'all know that y'all need me more than I need you. Now, the thing about pride is that pride not only causes you to leave when you should stay, or even stay when you should leave, pride will torment you. I mean, y'all, I was showing up to games. I felt like crap. Watching my team lose game after game. As a matter of fact, I missed senior night. Like, I didn't even get honored at senior night. It was, pride has stolen that from me, right? I eventually went back to the team, and my coach did this whole about the prodigal. It was just so silly. She was one of them Coach Carter type coaches that had a speech for everything. And so she's over here talking about some prodigal son. And I'm like, I just knew I needed to get back to my squad because I was sick without them. They were just taking a bunch of L's without me, and it was stupid. It was stupid. Okay? So in that instance, I let down. I humbled myself and went back. You know, the team was happy. I was happy. We went on to the first state championship appearance, first state championship tournament appearance in our school's history, right? So we did some great things, but imagine if I would have kept allowing pride to steal that from me, okay? But that spirit of pride was not done with me, y'all. I did the same thing in college. Only this time in college, I never went back. And pride won. Now, the difference between high school and college is that in high school, my coach actually did love me. Me and her to this day, I have the utmost respect. I fully plan on doing her Hall of Fame speech when she gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. I want to announce her completely, right? Hands down. Okay. But in college, the coaches hated me. Like, they wanted me to quit. I remember in college, I had pledged. I was doing all these things, but my basketball, I was on a scholarship. So I was the first one in practice, last one after practice. My work ethic never, but the coaches wanted to really like humble me and show me that they were boss, and they would just say all kinds of crazy sideways things about me in practice in front of me. Kind of indirectly, but the whole team knows they're talking about me, that sort of thing. New teammates would come in and they would be like, hey, don't talk to her. She's kryptonite. She's the cancer. You don't want to talk to her. Now, imagine saying that about your best player, the player who's been here for the last 3 years, longer than everybody else on the team, and is actually your better athlete on the team. When you think that you should use that player, nope, they didn't want anything to do with me. And so because I had a lot of pride in me, I was like, you know what, bet. It's me or you now, because I'm not taking that. I didn't have mentors or anything like that to say, humble yourself, right? I walked straight into the athletic director's office and said, hey, doc, it's either me or the coach. Either you fired the coach or I'm walking. He didn't. So I'm a woman of my word. Now I gotta protect my pride, right? I walked. I took a student loan the last year, and I walked on up out of there. Never went. Was it the right thing to do? Absolutely not. Did it protect the pride, the spirit of pride of me? Absolutely. Did it protect me? No. Had a terrible senior year in my last year of college. It was horrible. I got into all kinds of stuff that I had no business in because I wasn't in the confines of where I should have been. Not saying that sports was it my like, not saying that sports could have, is God or whatever, but it's where I was supposed to, I was out of position. The enemy now had more access to me, and I indulged in everything. You name it, drinking, partying. I never drunk. I was never a drinker. Last year of college, I didn't have sports, partying, sex, all the things, y'all, everything. I wasn't active on campus. I went from being my junior year, I was like Miss Junior, involved in student government, involved in these different clubs and organizations. I had started my own organization for the environment, basketball star, all these things. And then the next year I had fallen because pride comes before destruction. Everything. Pride destroyed everything that I had worked for those 3 years up to that. You only get 4 years in college to make it your best. Pride, man, pride, and it was so deep, y'all. Like, pride has stolen these things from me, and so that's what pride does. And obviously, at the end, it brings death, and that's what pride wants to do, right? So before we have, I got about 4 minutes. Let's just kind of go into. Let's go into pride. Let's uncover it in the Bible. I'm always gonna walk you through the Bible. If I'm not walking you through the Bible, don't listen to me. Okay. So that's what just pride did to my life. It took me years to really, really like get over this demon of pride, and it wasn't because I didn't want to. It's just because honestly, the way it manifested, I didn't dare a lot of the time. I thought after I got saved, I remember a few years back, I got saved, and man, I thought I was humbling myself. So I tried to deal with pride instead of giving it to God. So pride let me believe that it was, but it just manifested in a way that looked like humility. And it came in the being quiet and not asking for help when I really needed help. It came in the form of me feeling like noble, and me feeling like, not bothering people is this whole noble thing, and just being humble, and me not saying too much. That's not humility, y'all. That's just pride wrapped in a bow, and humility written on it. It's not really humility. Okay, pride is tricky. Okay, so the Bible talks about pride. All right, pride is one of the bonus of God. Like, if you over into pride, the Bible says that he resists the proud and he gives grace to the humble, right? So we're going to look at pride, okay? You don't want God to, trust me. And we're going to talk about that word resist, okay? So in Job chapter 41 talks about the king of pride, okay? God is talking to Job, and he's describing this beast, this sea beast named Leviathan, right? This dragon that only God can conquer. That's what God is telling Job. So at the end of God's description of Leviathan, God calls Leviathan the king of the children of pride, right? The dragon's natural characteristics that God actually is describing is the spirit of pride. So this actual physical dragon named Leviathan is the natural manifestation of the spirit of pride. It is wild, guys. It is wild, okay? So I'm actually going to stop here, and we will pick back up. You know what? We're going to pick back up later tonight, because I'm going to come back on later tonight. I got class in about 1 minute. Shout out to Wednesday nights. So I am going to pick up with this demon of Leviathan in part 2. So give me a couple hours and I will be right back. Okay, y'all? Now, if you are watching this video a day from now, a month, a week, a year, 2 years, 10 years, go over to Pride Part 2. Okay? As a matter of fact, I'm going to put the link in the description after I finish Part 2 so you won't be lost, okay? Because you need to get the word on the spirit of pride. This video basically showed you how I have dealt with pride in my life, and it was not pretty, okay? The next video will be uncovering the spirit of pride through the Bible, and then we'll go into prayer, praying to break the power of pride, and then I'll give you scripture as always. That's always how we do it, okay? The word, my experiences, prayer, scripture, boom, okay? So we gonna deal with pride as pride has tried to deal with us, okay? All right, so I'll see you guys in part 2, okay? See you if you're watching this live in a couple of hours. If you're watching this replay, I'll see you when you click part 2. All right, guys, click part 2, okay? That's how you're gonna get your freedom, all right? Click part 2. All right, see you soon.